Well, James Gunn's DCU is getting some momentum because we do now know when Peacemaker is set to return, and it's not going to be very much of a wait after Superman. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the announcement when Peacemaker is going to show up, and why its placement so close to Superman might give us a big clue on one of the major storylines. Now, we've known for a while that Peacemaker was going to find his way back, and after James Gunn took over the DCU and announced his initial slate, one of the first things he brought into the DCU from the old DC universe was Christopher Smith. Now, there's still a lot of confusion about how Season 1 and Season 2 are going to tie together, and Gunn has made it really clear. They'll explain that in the show, but the big question beyond how this is going to work is when will we get to see the series? Now, Superman is coming our way next July, so it was always very apparent it wouldn't come until after the first cinematic kickoff for the DCU. And now, HBO and Max have confirmed when Peacemaker Season 2 will arrive. Now, they didn't give us an exact date, but as of right now, Peacemaker is set to drop on the streaming platforms in August of 2025. Now, what's really interesting about that is it's only about a month after Superman drops in theaters, and a good bit sooner than many of us were expecting. Honestly, I was thinking Peacemaker was probably going to come towards the end of the year, probably matching up with that Creature Commando release date coming in just a few weeks. But it appears this will be on the heels of the Superman movie, and more than likely that film will still be making its mark in box office when this series drops. Now, this very likely means we're going to follow Rick Flag Sr.'s story from the new Man of Steel movie right into the second season of Peacemaker. Now, we saw many pictures of him standing alongside Ultraman, and we know the character is also part of Creature Commandos. So in the first 12 months of the DCU, Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. is going to be part of 3 different stories, suggesting he is going to be a big player in this new universe. Now, it's always been apparent that he's on a mission for revenge in the second season of Peacemaker, especially since Christopher Smith killed Rick Flag Jr. in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Now, we're all assuming that is still canon, and that'll be one of those details Gunn probably reveals early in Peacemaker Season 2, but this series being released so close to Superman does sort of indicate to me it's going to play a big part in that DCU story and getting it underway, and who knows, Peacemaker himself might be more of a staple of this new DC universe than anybody is expecting. The character himself has always been a bit of an outcast, and one of those kind that James Gunn tends to gravitate to, but with him leading a greater universe now, B-list characters that many people don't know being brought to life is not really what he's focused on. He's even said the pillars of the DC universe are Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn, so I don't know how big of a place Christopher Smith is going to have in this universe, but let's be real, John Cena brought the character to life in a way nobody was expecting. The last series was an absolute hit, and many people want to see more of the character, so I suspect the stories will have quite a bit of relevance and probably tie into future projects. We know Waller is going to follow this series up, and from what we've gathered from Creature Commandos, well, the original Suicide Squad is now defunct and she's working with monsters, so I'm curious on where these 3 series, almost like a trilogy of series, will converge on each other and how they fit into the overall Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters storyline. Now, recently we got a couple of quick looks at the new season, but we're still awaiting a full-on trailer for Peacemaker Season 2. Honestly, if the series is dropping in August, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the spring before we got to see a trailer, and they could play their cards close to the chest and make us wait till Comic-Con down in San Diego. Now, obviously none of that's confirmed, just that Peacemaker is going to find his way back. Season 2 also sees a lot of returning cast, including Danielle Brooks, Freddie Stroma, Jennifer Holland, and Steve Agee. We even heard rumors that Joel Kinnaman could appear in some way, shape, or form, although they've been denied. Obviously, we're watching Peacemaker pretty closely, and it's going to be a fun show, but I gotta really know what you guys think about this. Do you feel like the release of Peacemaker being so close to Superman really does indicate that whatever story Frank Grillo's bringing to life is going to be important? Or is this just James Gunn and the DC studios trying to keep the energy high through the summer? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification because we do daily Marvel and DC content and we don't want you to miss any news.